Dr. Mallory is the Toby Flederson of Space Force. The atoms are making turns on being you. You hear a lot about a spider's legs, but you never hear about a spider's feet. People with swamp and people who crap their pants have the same walk. Technically, if you drink animal milk you are still being breastfed. Yeah, probably killed Ivalo once or more. Since it is always after Labor Day, wearing white is technically never appropriate. When soldiers lose a piece of their camouflage uniform in the woods they are never going to find it again. Half a dollar bill costs a full dollar, but they are always 2 for 1. 1 out of 24 of you came from your dad. If humans were wiped out nearly all species would thrive, except for dogs. If the Battle of Pelennor Fields used real battle tactics, the Rohirrim would have been utterly annihilated by charging into massed infantry of pikes and arrows. Opening a can and guzzling its contents shows our absolute trust in the businesses that make our beverages that its contents are not harmful or contaminated. We only want to live because the organisms who wanted to live survived. The most comfortable side of the bed has always been the side where your charger doesn't reach to. There's a chance that you live in the Matrix but took the blue pill and forgot. People rarely use the N symbol, despite it having less characters than an. Soul is made radioactive in order for construction on it. The belly button could be seen in the future as a mark of a natural born human. In the US, felons cannot purchase a firearm, but can purchase a crossbow. Bolts hurt more than bullets. We are lucky nobody has found a way to make inspect element more than just temporary changes that only apply to you. All of the people who bought 3D TVs are probably really excited for Avatar 2 to come out. Most people have never put their bare feet in the snow before. C-3PO knows 6 million forms of communication but still chooses to speak English to R2, like a jerk. Contactless payments involve contact. When you fart you just dry fire your butt. Humanity will not peak until we've created a better storage system than the junk drawer. You know you're getting old when your nose hair starts getting long enough to bother you when you pick your nose. Ghosted someone can be a polite way of saying murdered. Q and X could be removed from existence, and almost nothing would change. They are quite useless. There is a double standard towards an early sleep schedule. Waking up early, wow, how do you do it? Going to bed early, pathetic. Your shadow is the photo negative of your reflection. When you get a puppy or any dog, you are signing yourself up for a period of profound sadness and loss at some point in your life. W is the only letter that sounds completely different than the noise it makes. Tinder allows creeps to pinpoint where someone lives or works by driving to various points and triangulating a specific location. Not much sucks more than having explosive bloody shits. All those planets in Star Wars are surprisingly satellite free. Hate drinking but love being drunk. The number of hot dogs in a package never seems to equal the number of buns in a package. There is going to be the day when touchscreen gaming is the norm, and gamepads would become considered as vintage. Cake batter cooked in a pan will come out with a perfect shape. Pancake batter cooked in a pan will rarely do so. If a food is so tasty you want to live, you know it's good, but if it's so tasty that you want to die, it's great. If water expands when it freezes, shouldn't sea levels go down when the poles melt? Not studying and getting 70% feels better than studying and getting 90%. Automatic sliding doors are one of the more futuristic aspects of our society. Amnesia might be the closest we have to experiencing death. When we die, all the memories we experienced will be forgotten and we won't even know it. If humans successfully colonize another planet, eventually some of their descendants might think that Earth is a hoax. If all of your egos were in the Big Brother house, you would probably be the first one to be kicked out. Before Groundhog Day was released in 1993, there wasn't a universal reference to each day feeling like it was repeating itself. You don't notice you're breathing until someone talks about breathing. Unless there's some kind of freak accident, humans are the only animals who have to deal with burnt tongues. Bees are nature's biggest simp, and on the flip side, giant hornets are nature's biggest chads. If you eat the last bit of cake, then you technically ate the entire cake. 4-leaf clovers are even more rare because so many people pick them for good luck, so they have less chance to spread the 4-leaf gene. If the commonality of roses and dandelions were reversed, we'd be buying tiny yellow weeds for Valentine's Day. The fact that someone somewhere managed to make licking buttholes, eating Tide Pods and being edgy trendy kind of makes it easier to believe that demons are real. You can only gargle sideways inside your mouth, not parallel to your tongue. Laptops are expensive, yet can be destroyed by water. Using a dollar bill for a bookmark is cheaper than buying a bookmark. There are probably fortune tellers out there that can see the future with 100% accuracy, but because they can see how we'd treat them if they came out, they just stay quiet. It's sad that palindrome is not itself a palindrome. You could have been born anything, and of all things you were born human. Animals can't talk through their problems. Activities we find boring as children are relaxing as adults because kids don't have as much stress to get away from. Every point in history was modern at that point. Birds don't sit a lot. There's going to be a shortage of babies in February 2021 and March 2021. Randall from Monsters Incorporated is a kidnapper. When you pee in the ocean or a river, the same body of water in your bladder is also around the whole world. A lot of people will feel the joy of not having to smile in social settings due to wearing masks. Ananas is the scientific way of saying pineapple, but it's also the Arabic word for pineapple as well. Trying to send a Taco Bell order to a friend using voice to text is impossible. Everyone pays a subscription fee to be a citizen of a country. Dogs chew on shoes because the shoes smell like their owners. A broken record isn't likely to sound like anything other than silence. For a species with no kneecaps, bees sure get a lot of attention for their knees. A mime choking in public is a horrifying scenario. The inside of our mouths are always wet, but we choose to subconsciously ignore it, just like the nose in between our eyes. No number in the English language is spelled with the letter C. Dog people are outgoing because they need to socialize their dog. Having a dog turns you into a dog person. England is basically Queen Elizabeth II fandom. If water can be found everywhere at a certain depth, we could just bomb a giant hole in the desert. If one day we will be able to travel faster than light, we will be able to see the Earth as it was years ago. It's not weird to consume milk out of a cup or out of a bowl. If humans were selectively bred for tens of thousands of years, there would probably be different breeds of humans as diverse as dog breeds. Sparkling is the crunchy of liquid. Ice cream trucks were the original food trucks. Animals are lucky because they can walk around. Plants are lucky because they don't have to. Noise cancelling headphones basically work by playing the sound of silence. Maybe vegans aren't vegan because they like animals, maybe it's because they hate plants. Every year history class will get harder and harder. If you haven't died yet, then according to your own statistics, you're immortal. Perfection is impossible for humans, but attempting to parallel it with complete disregard for that fact can produce the most effective results. Scissors are forks with adjustable prongs. As a kid, we want to do more than we are able. At some point it flips to being able to do more than we want, and thus we are never content. Real packages typically go through a port, and then to an address. Virtual packets go to an address, then a port. It is much more difficult to comment last under a video and also to be last than to comment first. You can gauge where you are at in life by what events you are attending the most. Birthday parties, graduations, weddings, housewarming parties, baby showers, retirement parties, and finally funerals. Eventually, some cliches will become so cliche that calling out those cliches will become a cliche itself. The future will be very historic. Cameras are mirrors, but mirrors aren't cameras. Blind people do all their calculations in their heads. When looking at the year as a whole so far, the Hornets weren't nearly as bad as everyone was preparing for. Kids are expected to develop good social skills, yet it is taboo for them to talk to adults at all. We consider ourselves to be taking care of our lawns, when really we are chopping in half millions of plants without killing them so we can do it again in another week. The only person that knows how stupid you are is you. World maps could be completely made up and most people wouldn't know. If you paused a video of someone walking backwards, you wouldn't be able to tell if they were walking forwards or backwards. If the eyelid isn't smooth enough, it'll scratch your eye. Voldemort is a prime candidate for LASIK. Glasses might not stay on his face. Your pet is also watching you grow up. To make the world's largest waffle, you must first make the world's largest waffle maker. There's just one answer to "you're a liar." Stone Age men are stereotyped as sitting around and watching at the same thing whole day, but yet here you are.